We don't have to make it very long. Okay.
No. Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. With me today is the co-founder of The Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, who's host of Artie's show Crosstalk. And Peter, I want to talk a little bit about this strange bit of news from the other day that Donald Trump, President of the United States, has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And the nomination was not made by President Trump himself or Sean Hannity, but by a Norwegian MP. It's a strange selection. What do you make of it, Peter?
Well, I think, first of all, we have to evaluate what is the value of the Nobel Peace Prize now, considering. See, I've always believed that politicians shouldn't get it, okay? I think it should be more civil society individuals. I don't know. I'm not going to connect any dots right now. I mean, this parliamentarian in Norway, he's considered a real right-winger. So I think he has an affinity with Trump. But actually, I read an interview and said he didn't like everything that Trump does. But is there one person except for Trump that likes everything that Trump does? It seems to me that I'm sure Donald Trump is happy to be nominated because he wants to get the Nobel Peace Prize because Obama got it. Okay, this is a grudge thing. This is something that he has to have. He covers it because Obama got it, and Obama didn't deserve it whatsoever. And I think it really diminished the meaning and the value of that prize. He got it less than a year in office, and he had done nothing. And by the time he had left, he had expanded from 5 wars to 7, and he still kept it. Shame on you, Barack Obama. You should have returned it, and maybe it would have given more value to the prize. So Donald Trump getting it for the alleged, quote unquote, diplomatic breakthrough between the United Arab Emirates and Israel, well, that's complete farce, okay? It just put a rubber stamp on what has existed for years, and it put a rubber stamp on officially forgetting and erasing away the Palestinians, as the media likes to do, okay? So if you ignore them, then the problem goes away. That's a simpleton's way of doing things, and that's exactly who rules over us, simpletons. Okay, so I really wish the Nobel Prize people would be more serious, and it might give people. I think Julian Assange should get the Nobel Prize. Okay, and that's not a reach, and I'm not being flippant. Okay, I think that there's a road record there of activism and reporting upon the crimes of governments that have committed war crimes. That's the person that should get it, and then the award would mean something again.
I absolutely agree, and I think he certainly deserves it because he has published important documentation about war crimes. I mean, that's you can't get more Peace Prize deserving than that. I tend to think that, I mean, many people ridicule the Nobel Peace Prize, and the example that they cite is invariably Henry Kissinger. So Henry Kissinger shouldn't have got the Peace Prize, blah, blah, blah. And I can see that. Kissinger certainly did many terrible things. But for what he got the prize for was a negotiated end to the American involvement in Vietnam. And it was it was shared with his North Vietnamese counterpart, late Doctor, I can't remember exactly name. I thought it was deserved. I mean, I think that, look, I mean, you brought a war to an end. I mean, almost to an end.
I see your point, but I mean, the war never should have happened in the first place.
All of that is true, but at the same time, you can't, what people did before, you can't hold that against them. But if they did something like bring a war to an end, it's something. And look, I mean, Gorbachev, when he won the Nobel Peace Prize, I think it was '89. And I think he deserved it. I mean, I think he did make, whatever all his other failings, look, I mean, the guy kind of pretty much dissolved the Warsaw Pact.
He dissolved the Cold War.
He dissolved the Cold War.
Credit for that.
But you can't say, but what about all the crimes Gorbachev committed in Afghanistan? Because, the Russians continued fighting in Afghanistan for quite a number of years during the Gorbachev era. So I thought that was a a reasonable decision. I kind of agree with you. The worst decision ever was the Obama decision, because Obama had done nothing. This was in 2009. He had done absolutely nothing to further peace. The whole thing that he was against the Iraq War was a crock, because while he was in the Senate, he had voted for every single appropriation for the Iraq War. So he had done nothing. It was just such a nakedly political decision. And as you say,
because he wasn't George W. Bush.
Exactly, that was it. That was his prize, was that he wasn't George W. Bush. And then subsequently, as you say, I mean, when you think of all his bombing, his destruction, everything, I mean, the honorable thing would have been for him to return it, or the Nobel Committee to announce that we are henceforth withdrawing it from him. You are deprized. Now, as far as Trump is concerned, what the hell is the Israeli United Arab Emirates? I mean, well, how is that bringing peace anywhere? I mean, there was no war taking place between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. There were de facto allies, both allies of the United States, both satellites of the United States. Where's the peace?
Yeah. And the message is, I mean, why was this done? I'll tell everybody why. It's really transparently obvious to me. This is a way for Israel and like-minded Arab regimes like the United Arab Emirates to keep the United States in the quagmire called the Middle East. Okay, this was a gift. Okay. So, the arms manufacturers and the entire bureaucracy that gins up and perpetuates wars and never ends them, they're the ones that, they want Trump to get the prize so you can keep this enterprise going on ad infinitum. Okay, so it should be repeated what you said. There was not a state of war between these two states. So what's the peace all about? Okay, the only peace that is out of reach is to settle the Israel-Palestine issue. Okay, and this makes it worse.
It makes it worse, and in fact, everything Trump has done with regard to Israel-Palestine has made things worse. And if he had actually advanced the denuclearization or reconciliation policy towards North Korea, then we could talk. But Trump did none of that. He just he talked a good game, but didn't follow through.
That is one of the things history will record as one of the most important lost opportunities of our time, because it was imminently doable. It was doable, and Trump should have stuck it out. I had such admiration for Trump when he went across the DMZ. He didn't have to do that. He made the first move. He had political courage, and he did it. And he should have sustained it. He should have fired Bolton and sent him packing. I mean, he took Tucker Carlson with him. He was sending out a message that he is going to keep his promise, and then it all comes to nothing because of a maximalist approach. Surrender and we'll be your friend. Really? Gaddafi learned that. Okay, so and you have Bolton saying that North Korea should follow the Libyan model, which of course his thinking was disarm and then we can talk. But of course the North Koreans say, yeah, we know another interpretation of the Libyan model is, and it's called regime destruction. So. If Trump had had the vigor to push that, he would be very deserving of a Nobel Peace Prize, and again redeem its value as a prize.
Right. No, that's exactly right. But of course, you have to say, a man who appoints John Bolton as his national security advisor and Mike Pompeo as his Secretary of State really isn't a potential Nobel Peace Prize recipient. That's just usually not the qualifications that you need to get one of those. So I think it's kind of an absurdity for Trump or his followers to tout this ridiculous agreement. And then you think of all the places where Trump, like Obama, had made things worse. I mean, you make the point about Obama, he made things worse. He made things worse in Libya. He made things worse in Syria. That vitiates any notion that you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. But same thing with Trump. He's made things worse in Venezuela, and he's made things worse with Iran. That's it. I mean, you're done. You don't deserve anything after that. It's kind of a funny thing to talk about, but it's also
Well, I guess we can end on is that how in the world does this Norwegian Peace Prize redeem itself? I have no answer.
No. It's hard to think of the most recent. Was there a recent case where somebody said, "Yeah, I think this he deserved it."
Wow, you got me flat-footed on this one. I can't think of one right now.
No, well, they deserved it. I mean, in the case of the Nobel Prize for Literature, I remember when Harold Pinter got it, and I thought, okay, deserved it. I mean, he was an innovative literary figure. He deserves it. Most of the time, as you say.
Well, I mean, when Lech Wałęsa got it, I mean, that was just to poke your finger at the Polish communist regime. Okay, I mean, was I against him getting the award? No, but I mean, I just thought this is political. This is not. It's nothing about war and peace. It's a political gesture.
And now that you mentioned, of course, Andrei Sakharov as well.
There you go, another one.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, literary prize against Solzhenitsyn. Again, you have to say he deserves it. I mean, whether you like his writing or not, I'm certainly a towering literary figure.
Yes, but it's still political.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Peter. That was most illuminating. And as always with the gaggle, if you like the gaggle, then please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.